Ladies and gentlemen, Politico. Informant reports jolt Trump world. Business Insider. Trump aides suspect family member as Mar-a-Lago informer. And then Newsweek. Trump being driven nuts, not knowing who Mole is, ex-federal prosecutor. Ladies and gentlemen, very important question that you should ask, that everyone should ask. Hit subscribe to this channel, share this segment everywhere. We're going to zoom past 200,000 subs, and it's because of you. To my viewers in other countries, thank you so very much as well for watching and subscribing. Here's the question. How can you have an informer or informant that goes to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, okay, who rummaged through 11 to 16 or to 15 boxes at Mar-a-Lago, who doesn't have a top secret security clearance or a security clearance to read restricted data pertaining to nuclear armament, for example. So he's accused of having discussions or documents, information pertaining to nuclear weaponry. Okay. Trump had that security clearance. He had the highest level security clearance as president. Nobody around him at Mar-a-Lago does. So here's the question. If nobody around him at Mar-a-Lago has the same security clearance, they would have broken the law by looking in those boxes. Okay, if you don't have the security clearance, if you don't have the ability, or if you don't have the from a legal perspective, the right to just look at a former president's documents, especially if they pertain to top secret or restricted data regarding nuclear discussions, who could have possibly notified the Federal Bureau of Investigation with direct knowledge? That's my point. It's almost certainly gossip and hearsay from an informant linked in some way to the Clintons, because we already have Danchenko, who's on trial, linked to the Clintons. The Hillary paid for the Steele dossier, and then he got that money from Christopher Steele. He's on trial for allegedly lying to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We know Sussman lied to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He has a text message where he says, "I'm coming on my own." The text message was not given to the jury, or was not allowed to be the main reason why they convict him. It was discovered too late in terms of the discovery process, so they weren't able to engage in a superseded indictment. I believe that's what happened. So we know that Sussman was paid by Hillary. We know that the Steele dossier was purchased by Hillary. We know that informants pertaining to the servers, so you had a whole team of tech people trying to fabricate this communication between Trump servers at Trump Tower and servers in the Kremlin. Didn't work. It was completely fabricated and a lie. Jake Sullivan and who else? And Clinton herself tweeted out the lie. It was all fake, bogus, false news. Okay? So you have an informant without any security clearance, because not many people outside government have, I don't think anybody outside government, aside from former presidents, maybe former intel chiefs, have a security clearance that goes with that continues, or that they can utilize even after they work for the government. So you have an informant that either broke the law looking at top secret and restricted data, or you have an informant that just guessed, made these allegations, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as always, was all too willing and all too enthusiastic to say, okay, well, we believe you. We believe you. Because you don't need much to investigate Trump. The rule of law means nothing when they're trying to get Trump. Here's the issue with the rule of law in this country, the United States of America. Clinton can have top secret and special access program intelligence on servers, secret servers running outside of the United States government. Nobody on the planet, not one journalist, not one intel chief, no government official knows how Clinton's team transferred classified data onto those secret servers. It is not even physically possible to do so. Nobody knows how. Okay? The act of transferring that classified data is a crime. You cannot just transfer top secret intelligence onto servers. Clinton did. You're talking about the internet and email. And you're talking about 2009 technology and even today's technology, but still, the whole planet, it was unencrypted for 3 months, according to Forbes and Fortune. And she deleted 30,000 records and had almost certainly classified data there. The President Obama's administration made a mockery of classified data, an absolute mockery. And if you have anyone who says otherwise, who's a security expert and a foreign policy, national security expert, please have them explain to you how Clinton's team was able to transfer top secret and special access program intelligence from government servers onto her servers. That is absolutely impossible. So then you have Comey stating, well, no reasonable prosecutor would indict, and there was no intent to commit a crime. Opinions. The rule of law is slashed to bits, to pieces, by Comey's opinion on what a reasonable prosecutor, a hypothetical imaginary prosecutor who, God forbid, would indict a Democrat would have done. And what going into the mind of Clinton, running top secret intelligence into secret servers outside of the U.S. government without any intent. The inherent to owning private servers is the intent to hide. But see what Clinton did, and it's Clintonian, and I want Hillary Trump 2024. Okay? I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. But what they did was, and I explain why in every segment, but what they did was, they didn't have anything on Trump. Trump has been a public individual for like 30 plus years. Actually, since the early 80s, so we're looking at 40 years. And he was never went to prison, never had lost laptops and emails with pay-to-play schemes. Somebody is on record as saying that Trump University is worse than, Biden getting kickbacks. No, it's not. How on earth could anyone make that claim? Trump University had like nothing directly to do with Donald Trump, but it did, and it had nothing to do with national security, and they paid a fine, and it wasn't millions upon millions of dollars funneled into, hundreds of millions of dollars funneled into a charity or a foundation or Hunter's bank accounts so foreign policy would be changed or altered. And that's what took place. If you have emails that point to, that show people asking for favors from Hunter, and then Biden forcing out a prosecutor, it doesn't take a genius to put two and two together. But even if you don't think that happened, even if you say that there's no evidence of that, well, why did Joe lie to the American public? I thought we're against lying. I thought Trump is the epicenter, the embodiment of, lying all the time. Well, Joe lied. Our beloved president, mashed potato brains, lied about meeting Hunter's business associates. He met them 14 times, and he also met them in the West Wing as vice president, according to the New York Post. So, no, Trump University has nothing to do with the U.S. government. Hunter does. Oh, Hunter definitely does. That's why the vice president, President Obama's vice president, likely forced out a prosecutor, but also, according to the New York Post, he met with Hunter's business associates in the West Wing and 14 other times in other government buildings. But you're talking about people enriching themselves through the U.S. government and media covering for them. And those are laws being broken. The rule of law applies only to Trump when they're trying to get him on imaginary crimes. The rule of law never applies to actual criminal activity committed by Democrats. You even have a wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrat who's a leading atheist saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter if Biden was getting kickbacks." What? If he's getting kickbacks from Hunter's business deals, based on Joe being in the United States government, then absolutely it matters. That's a national security issue. A big national security issue. And now they're focusing on Trump's boxes. Almost certainly, I think, it's because Hillary's going to run again, and she should. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The informant didn't have security clearance. That's it. That's the end of that's the main point